Hello aspirants, welcome to Ekam IAS Academy. Today we are going to discuss about recent tests that were so much in news with respect to Kolkata rape and murder case, that is polygraph test. You know, the main accused was undergoing this polygraph test. In that light, let us understand what is this polygraph test and what is narco-analysis. Is there anything that is undermined as per judiciary accordingly if you conduct this particular test? Let us discuss this all in a brief and informative way. First thing, we have an important announcement for those who are trying to aspire to become Group 1 aspirants in Telangana in the next notification. So you know, all are aware that there is a job calendar released by the state government, and that is expected as per the job calendar, it is expected that you will be having notification for the next Group 1 in October, and prelims will be probably held in the month of February 2025. So in that regard, for those who are aspiring to prepare well and reserve their seat in that particular Group 1 notification, it is the best time to start. And to support you, we are launching a Group 1 mains cum prelims foundation program from 23rd September. So this program duration will be for 7 months and 2 years validity. And along with, there will be one-to-one mentorship. This is one unique feature of us. So where you will be continuously monitored based on your strengths and weakness, and along which you can also improve, right? So there will be daily newspaper analysis in the form of handout, and daily answer writing practice will also be ensured. Then weekly tests in the form of prelims and mains tests also will be conducted. Division tests will be there. Along with, you also have monthly current affairs magazine including Telangana related current affairs. At the same time, you also have your study material printed in the question and answer format. So you also have the list of faculty who will be dealing with which subject and all is clearly mentioned. Not only this, we also have a test series dedicated for TGPSC Group 2 and Group 3 aspirants, which is about to start from September 5th. So for further details, you can contact us on the number displayed on the screen, right? Then what is the video we are discussing about polygraph test? Recently, you know, CBI, Central Bureau of Investigation, has got permission from the court to conduct polygraph test to the main accused in Kolkata rape and murder case. So in this slide, we'll be understanding what is polygraph test, right? So before that, if anyone know what is this CBI and when it was established, under which particular act, and what type of body if it is, so you try to put your answer in the comment section. Then, so what is the test we are talking about? It is polygraph test. So what is the main objection or main thing associated with this polygraph test is, you know, when any person who was accused of one particular criminal charge, when police interrogate or investigate them, they'll say that I didn't do this particular crime and all. So then in case if you are not having evidences, like if you have seen in this Kolkata rape murder case, many allegations were made that they have been the victim in which particular site she was actually subjected to this torture and all, that evidences were erased. So there were many allegations that all the data got erased, and there was so burying of this particular lady who was actually tortured to this, right? So in all these light, if you see, the polygraph test became so essential because there is clear-cut damage or destruction of evidences. In that situation, what we have to do, we have to find the accused. So accused will always try to say that I'm not associated with this crime, or I didn't commit this particular crime. In that light, when that person is not responding, what is the option for the investigating agencies to find out truth is, we have narco analysis, we have brain mapping, and we have this polygraph test. So polygraph test is nothing but a lie detector test. So what generally happens is, this person's psychological analysis will be done. So how they'll be analyzing this particular person, whether that person is saying the truth or false, is based on his respiration rate, pulse rate, based on his blood pressure, and how his skin is conductively responding to those particular things and all will be analyzed. So there will be a particular screen, you can see all these things will be subjected. So body movements, breathing rate, and there will be respiration, pulse, blood pressure, all these things will be monitored. So when any person generally lies, there will be again increase in the pulse rate, or you can see increase in the breathing rate also. That person will feel somewhat difficult to answer those questions and all. In those situations, here based on the mapping and the intensity and the frequency between those will be clearly reflecting that that person have lied or this person have given truth. So in that situation, we can understand. So this is the main objective of polygraph test. So what is polygraph? You have understood. It is nothing but a lie detector test where we are trying to understand the psychological analysis of the person. So by monitoring his blood pressure, pulse rate, and also skin conductivity along with his respiration rate. So these things will be monitored. Then let us understand what is narco-analysis. So if you have seen, narco-analysis, nothing but here one particular chemical will be induced into the body. So what is that? Sodium python. Okay, so sodium pentanol will be injected. So what generally happens when this is injected into the human of that particular accused? So what generally happens is that person feels like induced, or you can say he'll feel like seduced, you can say. That means he will go into one state where he cannot understand so what is false and all. So he generally, whenever we question anything, they generally give something in truth only. So that is how this particular narco analysis will be conducted. So this becomes very important for the investigating agencies when generally the people who are actually involved in serious heinous crimes generally do not respond, or when there is destruction of evidences also, this becomes the main things for the investigating agencies. If you have seen, when this narco analysis was used recently in Arushi murder case, Arushi Talwar case, along with Hyderabad twin blast near Dilshuk Nagar, we know in 2007. So then we also have Nitaria killings, and we also have stamp paper scam. In all these cases, narco analysis was done on the accused. Then if you see, then there is also one accuracy of this particular test in question. So what is the main stand of human rights activists is whether this particular test is so accurate or not. Means many studies prove these are not 100% accurate. Okay, so these are not 100% accurate. But what is the reason why the investigating agencies are going for this is they consider this is the only alternative or softer alternative to get the actual information, whether anything happened related to crime by this particular person or not. So that will be only way to know about. That is the reason most of the times this will be considered as an alternative to get the information by the investigating agencies. Then what is the legal admissibility? That means in case if these persons are subject to the narco analysis or polygraph test, is that admissible before the court? Legal admissibility, if you see, it is a clear violation of Article 20 Clause 3. So what is Article 20 Clause 3 talking about? Protection against self-incrimination. That means no person can be subjected to be a witness against himself. That means if you are asked, so you cannot be a witness against yourself that I only have done this crime and all. So in any situation, no one can be forced to be witness against himself. That is what we call as self-incrimination. So this is a violation when you are asked to undergo narco analysis or polygraph test. So you will be subjected to be witness against yourself. So it is a clear violation of your fundamental right guaranteed under 20 Clause 3. Then there is also much necessity of consent. That means the person who is undergoing this narco analysis or polygraph test, he must give his assent or consent. That is very much important. Then at the same time, judicial and human rights concerns also. Most of the times investigating agencies, there are so many allegations that they're actually threatening these persons or forcing these persons to admit that we are undergoing or we are going with consent only these type of tests and all. So there are many judicial as well as human right concerns. In the next slide, we'll be discussing what are the cases also related. Then there is some criticism from the courts because the evidence they have produced regarding the narco analysis that can be used against the victim also. So how that evidence can be admissible? That is a question most of the times courts have questioned, right? Then if you see landmark judgments related to polygraph test or narco analysis, we have the very first case is Selvi versus State of Karnataka case, and we also have DK Basu versus State of Bengal versus State of West Bengal case. In both of these cases, what Supreme Court has highlighted is anytime when you are undergoing, any person undergoing narco analysis or polygraph test, he was subjected to a torture or he was subjected to a situation where his mental privacy is violated. So that is nothing but a clear reflection of violation of your Article 21, which is right to life and personal liberty. In both the cases, a court said in case if you are not involuntarily giving your consent, or if the investigating agencies have tortured you to give consent, then it's nothing but your violation of Article 21, right to life and personal liberty. That's a landmark judgment you have to keep in mind. Then recently, if you have seen, in 2000, National Human Rights Commission, which is one of the statutory body, has given clear guidelines one need to follow when they're undergoing this narco analysis or polygraph test. So what are those? Any person has to give voluntary consent. That means without any force or influence, that person who is accused has to give the consent voluntarily. Second thing is informed consent. Informed consent means the person who is undergoing have to be clearly informed the process, the duration, how that happens, and everything has to be detailed before conduction of that particular test. Then recorded consent. So when this particular person is undergoing all this, that has to be recorded before the first class magistrate. So everything has to be recorded, and that person has to be the magistrate who is recording this consent. Then documentation. So whatever the things that they found as part of this narco analysis or polygraph test, that has to be clearly documented, and it cannot be submitted as clear evidence under Indian Evidence Act, right? So that is not a primary evidence under Indian Evidence Act, but it can be considered by the courts in deciding the cases also. Then clarification of statements. So clarification of statements means here also the courts have cautiously highlighted that there has to be clear statements. That means when the persons are being questioned by the investigating agencies, they cannot keep something vague. So they have to clarify what is the meaning of the question, what they want from everything has to be clarified. Accordingly, only the person and his responses can be monitored. Then judicial consideration is also very much important. So what is judicial consideration? Here, as I told you, under Indian Evidence Act, whatever the things that is said before the police, it is not admissible legally. That will not be considered as confessions. It will only be considered as statements given by the accused before the investigating officer or the police officer. That's it. It will not be considered as a confessions. Confession means I have done this crime. That's a confession. So that will not be considered as a confession. So these are the clear-cut guidelines issued by National Human Rights Commission in the year 2000 for any person who is undergoing polygraph test. These things have to be ensured by the investigating agencies. Now, let us see the practice question. Which of the following statements regarding Article 20, Clause 3 of Indian Constitution are correct? It provides protection against self-incrimination. It guarantees the right to legal aid at the expense of the state. It ensures that no person shall be deprived of their personal liberty except according to the procedure established by law. It protects the individuals from double jeopardy. Right? So, which among the options suits 20 clause 3? Try to put your answer in the comment section. Then, as we have reached end of the video, today we have discussed about what is polygraph test, how it has to be conducted, and what are Supreme Court as well as National Human Rights Commission guidelines in conducting polygraph tests, how it is different from narco analysis, and is there any right against these particular tests from the side of accused also. We have discussed in a quick and informative way. If you like the video and found informative, let us know in the comment section. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day.